That's right, you guessed it. The most exciting event during motorcycle ownership is the time to get a new tyre. And this rear tyre is definitely looking as though it needs replacing. You can see that I've worn out the sides as much as the middle. It's almost down to the wear marks. I love these Michelin Road 6s and I'll be getting another one just the same. Taking the wheel off and then taking it to the bike shop saves a lot of money, and it's simplicity itself to remove the wheel. I like to use electrical tape to keep the chain adjusters in place. This makes it so much easier to put the axle back in when replacing the wheel. To remove the wheel, all I need is a 27mm socket and a shifter. Because I always lubricate my shaft before putting the wheel back in, it's always easy to bring the axle out again. You can see I'm just using my foot to just take some of the weight, and the axle slides out no problem. Now I can just take off the chain and roll the wheel out. Simple, simple. Of course, if you're unlucky enough to have a DCT model, that might be a little bit more complicated. But the wheel easily slides out of the back disc brake. Now, we don't want to take anything to the bike shop that might fall out, so I've taken off the drive and I'm pulling out the cush rubbers. Now you can see that mine are broken. The pairs of cush rubbers are supposed to be joined together, but mine are looking a bit worse for the wear. But they're still okay after the repair job I did to them a while back, so that's holding up. I'd buy a new set, but I simply cannot find a set online. Not for Australia anyway. Anyway, behind the drive there is a tiny little O-ring. So I'm going to leave that at home as well, as you can see. And I need to remember to put that back in again. I'll take out the spacer, give it a bit of a wipe over, and we should be just about ready to go to the bike shop. And lastly, I'll take the valve cap off. It's one of those valve caps that has a valve removing tool on the end of it, so I don't want that to get lost at the bike shop either. Fortunately, the local bike shop is only a few minutes away from home. Powersport Central at Morisset. This is not a huge bike shop as bike shops go, but the owners have been the owners ever since the bike shop was created, which would have to be 20 years or so ago, and I've been buying from them since then. As you can see, they sell Yamaha and Husqvarna. They've got these new lovely T7s, World Raid type ones, but they're expensive. They're about $27,000 in Australia. But of course I can't afford them or the Norden, so I'll just have to be happy with my old NC Honda. And strangely, I still am happy with it. Well, sadly there's so much background noise that I can't really let you hear my conversation. This is Mr. Byers. He's been here for 15 years in this stint, and he's been with the company before that as well, after going off and doing some heavy engineering type mechanics for a while. I asked him how he makes sure that the rims don't get scratched, and he simply said, "I'm careful." You can see it takes quite a bit of effort to break the bead on both sides of the rim. It's not like a tubed trail bike tyre where you just jump on it with your boots and the rim and the bead breaks.
Yeah, my NC. Yeah, I think you must have changed this rim about 10 times so far.
I've never felt the need to be a real masochist and change road bike tyres myself. And after all, if I buy the tyre here, I get it fitted for free. And the job gets done right. So how long have you been working for Chris?
Well, I've been back for about 15 years, I think.
You've been back 15 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I went and done heavy diesel for a few years.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, be 15, coming up 15 years, I think.
So that would tend to indicate that Chris is not the worst employer in the world then?
No.
Righto, let's have a look at these tyres. Yeah, well, they're both the same model. We can see the little lips have been ripped up. The good thing I found about these is that I'm using as much of the sidewall as I am as the middle.
Yeah.
Rather than just using all the middle and the sidewall's still fine.
Yep.
Now, are they different compound side to middle?
Yes.
Okay, well that makes
harder to put down in the middle.
Yeah, well
You can see the line.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
So that explains it then.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Yes, it's nothing like a little bit of lubrication to get the rubber to slide in nicely. Wow, how easy is that?
Much easier than do it by hand.
I wouldn't even attempt to do a road bike by hand. That'd just silly. Don't need a cap because I took mine off. Just 38 will do it once you've got the bead up. Now you got to check the balance.
Yep.
Excellent. And as you can see, we just do a static balance. But I reckon if it's good enough for a little milliard
on his V10 Viper, then it's probably good enough for me. I certainly never had any problem with the feel of out of balance. The rim's usually pretty good, it's not.
Balance.
Yeah.
And I could add an extra 5 grams to it.
Because you've already got the weight opposite the valve, haven't you? Yep. No, I'd leave it like that.
Yep.
Yep. It's a good one.
And then is that done?
Out of interest,
Probably not that.
let's see how thick it is with no tread on it. It's certainly pretty soft when there's no air in it.
It's about that deep. Not even.
So don't be tempted to go beyond the wear limit because there's nothing left. Look at that. That's what's between you and death.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Byers.
No problem.
That was most appreciated, and thanks for being a film star. I'm going to treat the bike to a new axle nut, so I'm off to Advantage Fasteners. Hello, ladies.
Hi, how you going?
I'm after a nut for the axle of my motorcycle.
Yes,
It's
certainly.
ordinary nylock will do.
Yeah? Okay.
Don't fall into the trap of thinking that everything has to be bought from the Honda dealer for your bike. Advantage Fasteners are such a marvellous place. I have never come here when you've said, no, haven't got one of them. So look at that, lovely new nut. Nothing like a new nut.
Okay, $2.20, thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Home again, and it's time to put the wheel back in the bike. Yes, you can call me a complete weirdo, but I just absolutely love a new tyre. However, I have to admit that these Road 6s perform really well even when they're right down to the wear limit. Most tyres tend to go off and you start to feel how bad they are a long way before they've completely worn out. But these tyres, no, they just keep holding on right to the end. Anyway, it's a bit of a balancing act to get these cush rubbers back in. A smart person would put the wheel, yes, that's right, a smart person would put the wheel down flat and then give it a try. Okay, it's right about now that I'm an idiot. I go to all the trouble to get those cush rubbers in the right place and put the drive back in, only to discover oh look, I still haven't discovered that I'm an idiot. I've just put the O-ring aside, thinking, oh yeah, I'll put that in later. Oh, hang on. No, the O-ring goes inside the drive, idiot. So, back out with the drive, and a little bit of grease around the O-ring. Groove, O-ring back on, drive back on, and then back to what I was doing. Bit of a clean up of the spaces and put a little bit of new grease back on them. Never hurts. And of course a bit more grease on the axle. There's nothing like a nice greasy shaft to slide in easily. I can't count the number of times that I've put the wheel back in and not the spaces. This time I remembered. What a bonus! Now, the only trick to putting the wheel back in is to get the disc to slide up in between both the back brake pads. I've still got the brake caliper in place, and it's usually fairly easy to get the disc in between those pads. Yep, slid in quite easily. I love these black disposable gloves. So is my hands getting all greasy, and as we know, dirty hands, dirty mind. Time to slide the axle in. And you can see I'm just using my feet to locate the wheel. Just takes the weight off it a little bit. And a little digit helps to find the right place to have everything lined up, and wow, look at that, slides right in. What a beauty. Now there shouldn't be any hammering or forcing required, just need to jiggle a little bit to get this side lined up, and there you go, straight through. Now, because I haven't changed the chain adjusters, I don't have to worry about wheel alignment. I just need to force the wheel forward so that the chain adjusters are still tight, and then I can do up the axle nut. The observant viewer will spot that I'm not using a torque wrench. I've never used a torque wrench on the axle nut. I just tighten it up until it's tight, and I've never had a problem. But of course, you can use a torque wrench if you like. But I've found the torque wrench in my elbow works just fine. That was an easy job. And there you go, a lovely, nice new tyre. Can't wait to start scrubbing it in. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.